See them there lining the hillsides, and the first riders out on the sighting lap.
Yeah, the sighting lap for the qualifying heat for the MXGP riders. Remember, the Motocross of Nations is tomorrow. The race will have 2 riders from each country racing in each of the 3 races, but today they get to qualify in their individual classes. So MXGP class up first, MX2 later on today, and then the MX Open category. And the start here, just over 1,600 meters long, but there have been 1 or 2 changes on the track, Jeff. Just behind us here, actually, behind the fullback section, around 10-11. We can talk about that during the broadcast itself. In fact, here is the new section.
This is a completely new section. If you look off to the left there where the Monster Energy banners, track used to make a left there. So now they've extended the track, made it a little bit longer, really pushed out a lot of these areas where the forest was, and even before pit lane in that last hillside, pushed the corner way up into there in the background. So the track's much longer than what it used to be.
All right, well, Lisa caught up with a couple of riders earlier, Kevin Strybos of Belgium, but first of all, she spoke to the Australian, Todd Waters. He got a podium here last year.
Hello and welcome to the very first qualifying session of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations presented by Fiat Professional. The MXGP class are just getting ready, preparing their gates. Now the first guy I want to speak to is Team Australia's Todd Waters. Todd, scrap a few words. You're pretty familiar with Europe, aren't you? I know you did a full season in 2015 last year, so do you think perhaps you've got a better feel of what to expect of the level out there?
Yeah, look, I know what to expect. I raced here for 2 years. I did 14 and 15, and I'm pretty stoked to be back here, actually. It feels like I never left, so I'm enjoying everything. The crowd's great. It's a good atmosphere, so it's nice to be back and racing with all the guys.
We've had such positive comments about the track and the development of it here in Majora for the Nations, for the event. But it's actually a track that's been pretty good to you in the past as well. I know you're on the podium here last year, so you're pretty familiar with that as well.
Yeah, I got to claim my first podium here, so it's a pretty special place for me. It brings back good memories, and today, you know, the track looks good. They've made some changes since we last rode it, and I'm really excited to race. So it's the best from the world, and let's go racing.
Not the best gate pick though for Team Australia.
Yeah, it could be worse. You know, we're up the inside, so it's not too bad. I'm kind of happy with it next to February, and yeah, hopefully we can get a good start and ride a clean race.
Best of luck. Have fun. Thank you. The next rider I want to speak to is all the way down the other end, so they're keeping me fit. It's Kevin Strybos from Team Belgium. Actually, one of the nations that's been the most successful here at the Motocross of Nations with 56 visits to the podium, but he's just over here. Kevin, just a few words. Representing Team Belgium, you've just won the Belgium National Championship, which is brilliant. It would be perfect if you could get your hands on that Chamberlain Trophy for the second time, hey?
Yeah, for sure. You know, but you know, it's not going to be easy. We're trying to do our best, and hopefully we can be on the podium. That should be pretty good already, I think.
You've represented Team Belgium a few times, haven't you, for the Motocross of Nations? How special is this event for you and also for the country?
It's really special, you know. I think for me it's better than GPs. I mean, I feel more easy here, you know. So even if it's even that it's a big event, you know, but I feel good, and yeah, especially for Belgium, it's always great to go.
Have fun. Thank you. Better luck there to Kevin and Todd and all the guys lining up. Time for the MXGP qualifying race.
Thank you, Lisa. Of course, after that, the riders went out on their sighting lap. And Jeff, the ballot this morning was drawn at 9 o'clock, as always, traditionally on Saturday. Brazil will go to the line first with Fabio Dos Santos, and then Akira Narita of Japan goes to the line second. The countries now coming up on the screen, but France, what a pick they have. 4th gate choice for Roman Fevre. Todd Waters, 6th gate choice for Australia. And then further down, we've got GB with Tommy Searle in this one. They go to the line 9th. But the big news is, I guess, further down the order with Switzerland 16. Right down here, the bottom end, 30 for Team USA, 31 for Belgium, 32 for the Netherlands, and 34 for Germany. What do you make to that gate pick?
Well, it's definitely going to make it tougher because they're going to be on the right side, the outside. And then the home country, Italy, led by Antonio Cairoli, 8-time world motocross champion, they line up 27th. So quite a bit of the teams that on paper you would put inside the top 5. I personally think it's really competitive to do that sort of paper ranking this year. I think it's going to be pretty close, but no doubt having Italy, Estonia, USA, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Russia, Latvia, all on the outside off the start is going to make it tough. They're going to have their work cut out for them.
Well, we had a guy on social media, Ask Gauthier Paulin, on our MXGP TV studio show this morning, which, as we look at Romain Fevre, how important is strategy in this event? And he said, well, look at the qualifying races, basically, wherever you finish. If you go 4th, the next teammate has to go 24th. So the lower down the top 10 you finish, that's gate 10 and 30 for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, you know, 20 and 40 for tomorrow. And you don't want to be all the way over on the right-hand side, do you?
No, which is going to be our rider's right-hand side. Our left on the screen right here as you're taking a look at Waters, who was 9th today in practice. But you've got some of these riders that we talked about for some of these top teams like Strybos, Koldenhoff, Max Nagel that are going to be lined up way on the outside in this qualifying race, and those riders are pretty good off the start. So gonna have to take a look and see if one of these riders, even Tommy Searle here, who would have lined up 9th in this, can grab that whole shot, keep his helmet, goggles clean.
Yeah, well, the free practice times we have here, Romain Fevre was fastest. Obviously, that bears no relation to the grid position. As we've said, that was drawn. The riders have no control of that, but it's just that mental, that psychological, isn't it, thing. But Romain Fevre was 1.2 seconds quicker than the German Max Nagel, with Kevin Strybos 3rd, Cairoli 4th. The American Cooper Webb was 5th, riding number 4, and he lines up 30th on the gate here in this qualifying race, Jeff.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough starting position. We saw Jose Butron out of Spain. He's 10th.
So we're just looking down the free practice areas here.
That would have been Cody Cooper right there out of New Zealand.
Yeah,
well, they've got all new colors, right? They're difficult to recognize these guys on Saturday morning. Hopefully we're tuned in by tomorrow. But here's a rider, the Swiss rider, Valentin Guillot, looked great in practice.
Yeah, and they line up 16th, I think, for Team Switzerland, so maybe just either side of the doghouse, you know, the mechanism. But look at the atmosphere. Ingo Parch down here, our FIM race director. We're just getting ready to get those guys there. But Tony Cairoli there, number 40 for Team Italy, 31 years old yesterday.
Yeah, celebrated the birthday. It was great in the press tent during the Team Italy presentation. The whole press tent sings him happy birthday. And there is no bigger superstar at the event this weekend than Tony Cairoli. Yeah. He is the man when it comes to this event. Home country, obviously.
And what about Cooper Webb? What can we expect from him? They were making a lot of changes to that bike in free practice this morning. I spoke to Roger DaCosta just before the MX2 guys went out. He was up in pit lane. Said Coops seemed to be in and out of the paddock quite a lot. And he said, you know, making some front end changes.
Yeah, and Webb was about 2.5 seconds a lap off of Fevre's fast time. Fevre looked comfortable early. Cooper Webb didn't. So hopefully the changes that they made there to the American riders, Yamaha, Cooper Webb, is going to be better for him. What I know about Cooper Webb is he's kind of like a fine wine. Yeah. Gets better with age. As the weekend goes on, he will get more comfortable. And he's shown that in the latter stages of the races on Sunday that he's a force to be reckoned with.
Well, the 15-second board has gone up here. We're getting ready to go racing the first qualifying heat of the day. MXGP, 20 minutes plus 2 laps. That 15-second board will turn to 5. And we've got the Americans over to the left, around about gate 30. We've got some big hitters up the inside, and the gate drops now. And it's Fevre and Searle up the inside. But who was that around the outside?
Is that Cairoli? That was a big number 40, right?
The whole shot. Antonio Cairoli then heads off up the hill and goes past the crowd here. There's Fevre in 3rd. Searle in 4th position as they drop down the hill.
The track really has dried out quite a bit. And they've prepped it in certain spots from what these riders would have ridden it earlier today when it was really wet, muddy, and sloppy. They fixed this uphill right here.
Well,
cleaned up the takeoff.
Yeah, Cairoli then. This is where he crashed last year and injured himself, but they've taken out all those steps going up there. But this section stays the same. This is the part of the racetrack, Jeff, that they changed at the end of this straight. They used to do a 180, come back through the middle, but now they drop down short, turn right, and then that new loop to the left. Yeah,
here we're taking a look at this new section. See, some of that dirt's really dried out, but really rutted. Those muddy ruts, as they dry out, they get crusty, as we call it.
あらゆる期待と想像を超える世界。
Right now, great start also.
そこは贅沢な時間と全てが一体化する感覚を味わうマリーナベイサンズシンガポール。とどまることを知らない。
Another new section of the track right here, Paul. They used to turn about halfway up the hill. Now you see they cleared out all those trees, added this tabletop, and of course this
あらゆる期待と想像を超える世界。
pit lane area here, right there past the tag.
そこは贅沢な時間と全てが一体化する感覚を味わうマリーナベイサンズシンガポール。とどまることを知らない。
Here at the moment, so we'll try and keep you updated as soon as we can. But it's Cairoli who leads as they disappear through the first turn again, and the noise out here, Jeff, is absolutely electric for these guys. The Canadian there in second, Fevra is third, fourth is Tommy Searle, good start for the Brit, fifth is the, I think that was the 55 maybe, Davis Ivanovs of Latvia, if that was the case going through. But Cairoli, well, he didn't look nervous at all yesterday, did he, in the press conference? He looked very relaxed and seemed to enjoy himself.
Well, you know, and it was questionable, some of his teammates that he has today, but all three
riders down just before the finish line area. So it was one of those 115, was it, or 112?
I thought that might have been Cooper also, 22. We'll have to got some timing and scoring. Now Cooper's shown in ninth, Cody Cooper.
Yeah, it was Nagel and Eric Hugiec. So Nagel possibly going down at the end of the first lap before it even hit the finish line, and that didn't look good for the German.
Yeah, and that's the problem with why that draw and that gate pick here for qualifying is so important. Nagel is, you know, historically an exceptional rider off the start, not just good, but this guy knows how to put the Husqvarna out front with a hole shot. But with that horrible position that he had, he caught himself in the back there, and this is what can happen. That's why getting a great start is just so important. You make life easy on yourself.
Roman Fevra looking to make a move up the inside of the Canadian. He launches it, and that is an interesting section there, isn't it? Because you can jump your way to the top and park somebody up the inside, or you can keep the wheels on the ground. The only risk there is going to be when somebody goes high and wide and cuts back early. But waved yellows, that's Nagel down on the deck.
Well, you can see the officials are really slowing these riders down. It looks like they've got Nagel and Hugiec. They have them cleared from the track. We hope those riders are all right. We'll give you a report if we get it.
Yeah, so the Hungarian and the German down on the deck, but fans packing out this stadium. Cairoli leads, Kevin Benoit second for Canada. Third is Roman Fevra for France. Fourth, Tommy Searle, GB. Fifth, Cooper Webb. Good start for him in fifth place. Kevin Strybos of Belgium, sixth. The Japanese rider was sixth, but just being passed by Kevin Strybos. Eighth is Jose Boutron of Spain. Todd Waters, the Australian, is ninth. He's just found his way past Cody Cooper. Anton Gula of Sweden is 11. Glenn Koldenhoff for the Netherlands, 12. Nick Larsen, 13 for Denmark. 14, Thomas Simko of Slovakia. And 15 for Titas Buchas of Lithuania. 16, Jaromir Romanchik for Czech Republic. 17, Preet Ratcep of Estonia. 18, Davis Ivanovs of Latvia. 19, Semen Rogozin of Russia. And 20, Lucas Neurauter of Austria, who is outside us. Swiss down in 34th place for Valentin Guillaume.
Yeah, Valentin Guillaume currently showing as being in 34th. And he was really quick today. 7th overall in this MXGP qualifying practice.
And they went to the line 16th, so he's thrown away that perfect start opportunity there that they would have had. Middle of the grid, not too bad.
But within these MXGP, MX2, and Open, we'll take the best two results from the three classes.
Yep.
And then that will qualify you. Let's see if he
makes it this time.
He was committed.
But look at that.
Barely kept it inside of the banners. Looked like there was a cameraman there that got a close-up shot there.
Yeah, Roman Federer looked like he was going to jump up. You get some height on there as well, don't you?
I think he's got him here.
No. Thought about it. So Cairoli 154.195, Benoit 156.180, and a 55.4 for Roman Federer. So Federer itching to find his way past the Canadian.
Benoit putting in a great ride right now. This is certainly a highlight of his career here. Don't let that 3-digit number fool you. Canada might have had a bad run last year, but they definitely have fielded a talented group this year.
So,
running in between the 8-time champ and the 2015
world champion MXGP.
World champion, yeah. Let's him go to the inside right here. Got it.
He just pushed him wide and just got a little bit spooked there, I think, Benoit. But Federer is through, and this is the track that he likes and excels on, but his gap to Cairoli is about 5-6 seconds before when he crossed the line behind Kevin Benoit. So with a clear track, it'll be interesting to see how good the splits are, and Benoit goes down.
Not good. That's a bad spot. Webb goes down.
Webb is down, and he's hooked upon the foot peg. Just came out of there completely blindsided. And the American Webb goes down, and it's going to cost him positions. And you've already explained it, Jeff. The qualifying races here, one for MXGP, one for MX2, one for Open. The top 2 results count. So when we look at Valentin Guillot for Switzerland and where he was, let's just watch the replay here first.
So let's see what happens. So this is the pass. Federer getting on the inside of Benoit there on that side of that hill. They call it the wall. And watch what happens right here. Watching the right of your screen as he comes into the center. Really just looks like he got a little bit high in the berm, got his weight off, and then Webb comes by, nowhere to go, and just gets really, looks like he might have tried to go over the rear tire of Benoit, and when he hit that spinning tire, it sent his bike off to the right unexpectedly. So now
Webb down at about 27th, 28th place at the moment. So he's
timing and scoring is going to catch up here.
Dropped down to about 28th, 30th. So he's obviously taken a while to get going. Not running the electric start on that Yamaha. He'll be running that next year when he goes up to 450 class in the US, we're told. But Roman Federer, what was his time? Well, he's not as quick as Cairoli at the moment. So we saw last year, Jeff, at Nernay, when the defending champions, the #1 of Gauthier Paulin, the 2 of Marvin Musquin, and the 3 of Roman Federer, when they went out and nailed the qualifying, every single race, every single lap, the French were going crazy. And right now, Cairoli has that same feeling right in front of the home fans here.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, Cairoli turned 31 yesterday. Certainly he is still at the top of his game, but he's not a kid anymore, right? And so these Motocross of Nations events and riding at a very, very high level in front of his hometown crowd, or home country, this may be the last opportunity for something, for a situation like that. So I know if I was him, I would be completely focused on my individual result and making sure that I give Italy a pair of wins.
Yeah. And that's the thing, he has won the individual class before. He had 2 moto wins in Lommel in Belgium, remember? I think he was a winner as well in Germany, but at the same time, here he had that opportunity in Franciacorta. He won that first race on Sunday morning when he had that epic battle with Chad Reed, and then he crashed out down the start straight. That possibly cost Italy a podium that day. And these things don't come around very often. Motocross of Nations event in your home country. And he, along with Michele Cervelin and Samuele Bernardini, Bernardini riding the 250, Cervelin riding the open class on a 450 Honda, who was impressive today in practice. We'll talk about that when the time is right. But they do have the potential to get it on the box here this weekend.
Yeah, right now we're taking a look there at Tommy Searle on the Kawasaki riding for Great Britain. He's paired with Max Anstey on the 250. Sean Simpson will be riding the Open. And then for Belgium, Kevin Strybos. He's got Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, who's a MXGP rider, has dropped down to ride the 250. And Brent Van Donnick will be riding the Open class, who went from the 250 to the big bike. So a few changes right there, but certainly for Searle And Strybos right now, they're putting in some good laps. Looking at where they were at, they were about 156, 155. Last time around, Febvre 152. Cairoli with that big lead. He slowed down a little bit to a 154, but certainly they're right there in the zone where they need to be.
Look at Strybos just closing in on Tommy Searle at the moment. The Belgian in yellow around the outside of the Brit on that green Kawasaki. And Searle takes a look over his shoulder. But I think that the plan for Team GB here is just to get through Saturday, because last year, remember, we had that incident where Max Anstey got landed on his bike. There was a problem with the bike at the top of the hill, or he stalled or something.
Yeah, stalled on the triple downhill there at Ernay and got dropped out of sight. I don't remember which rider it was that tripled down.
Pascal Raschnecker.
Yeah, didn't see that he had a problem and jumped off to the left-hand side of the track, where Anstey was just rolling with a dead engine and ended up being injured. So we'll see if Great Britain this year, with once again experienced field, guys that all work well together. They've all won GP events.
Yeah.
So they certainly are teed up here. Neil Prince is the team manager once again. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. And like I say, they got the first gate pick last year for the qualifying races. On paper, that was great, but they didn't come through Saturday unscathed. So, they still qualified for the event with the results from Tommy Searle and Sean Simpson. But, Simpson, it was Tommy Searle and Dean Wilson, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then you take a look at Belgium here with Kevin Strybos, number 7, just running just behind, just dropping off the top of that Monster Energy drop-off.
Tell you what,
they're led by Joël Smets, who of course has won this event before, leading Belgium with Van Hoorbeek and Van Donnek. And the interesting thing about Belgium is
ready to go by. He passed Max Nagel up here to win the final motor of the year at the GP here last year, final motor of the day last year, and not able to get the traction, but he goes to the outside at the top of this hill and he'll get the drive around. This is where Searle took a nervous look, and look at him working it. He's trying to get himself into a decent position to make the pass at the end of the straight, but Searle reads it well, Jeff, and protects the inside.
And Strybos can basically put the Suzuki wherever he wants, it seems like. Searle and Strybos both riding two completely different lines, but what I was going to mention is how many podiums Belgium has had in this event. More than anyone.
56.
56 times Belgium has been on the podium. Pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
And wins, I'm going to say, is
16. 15. GB have 16. So Tommy Searle with 6.5 minutes to go, plus 2 laps, still holds himself there in 3rd position for GB. The guy in yellow behind him, number 7, the 31-year-old Belgian, Kevin Strybos, who picked up his first ever Belgian national championship title 1 week ago.
His first ever?
His first ever.
How is that possible?
He's been around a while, but he's always
32 years old.
31, but
31,
he's.
sorry.
But you think of the generation where he's come from: Stefan Nevitz, Joel Smets, Martin de Vlot, himself in there as well, and then later on,
there's been a couple of good guys come out of Belgium.
Not too many. No, not
back in the 60s, 70s. There were a couple guys there.
Yeah. So dropping downhill, Cairoli, his lead is being cut 2 seconds, 2.2. There he is. He's coming back towards Searle and Strybos. So 53.8 for Cairoli, a 53.0 and a 57. For Febvre. So Febvre is just there. So these guys are about 17 seconds down on Cairoli and Febvre. But again, look at Strybos looking to work his way, getting frustrated, being parked behind Tommy Searle at the moment.
Yeah, and Searle's just been riding some different lines altogether, and you can see how this track, it undulates up and down these hills. I had the opportunity to ride here in June, and this is a very difficult track to get the feel of, because even these areas where it's always on an angle. And so a lot of those tabletop jumps that they just went through, that tabletop there goes in the air, so you really have to get the feel for this track.
5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. The battle for the lead here. Tony Cairoli and Roman Febvre has whittled down that gap that was almost 7 seconds from a few laps ago when he passed Ben.
あらゆる期待と想像を超える世界。
Second place, the Canadian, of course, and
そこは贅沢な時間と全てが一体化する感覚を味わうマリーナベイサンズシンガポールとどまることを知らない。
The gap down for Roman Fevre. Here's Searle and Strybos. So we've got nice, interesting little battles going on here. Jeff Emig with Tommy Searle and Strybos battling here over third place, and Cairoli and Fevre battling over the lead. Narita yet to come over the line. He's in fifth place, holding off six. Boots on seven.
Great ride for the Japanese rider, Akira and Narita. They had a great gate pick, putting the...
I tell you what, I'm just looking down the order here. Switzerland.
Honda, I should say.
Still down in 34th place. So Valentin Guillot obviously not completed a lap here. So he obviously, I wonder if he got caught up in that incident with Eric Hugic and Max Nagel. So
yeah, and technically on timing and scoring, Guillot is scored ahead of those two riders. So maybe something happened after that, because all three riders have been out. I mean, we're on lap...
yeah, well, basically they went out.
We're on 7 laps right now.
Valentin Guillot did cross the line, but didn't do more. So here we go. Strybos looking to find his way past Searle.
Wow, these two riders have been wheel to wheel. Strybos, he's going to know where all the alternative lines on the track are, because he's been all over the place trying to make the pass on the British rider. Let's see if as they exited this turn, if he executed that.
He did. He's moved himself up into third now. So Fevre still giving chase to Antonio Cairoli. 1.4 seconds that gap. And Roman Fevre, we've seen in the past, Jeff, when he's, like particularly in a qualifying race, when he knows he's quick and he turns it on, if he's not found his way past by the final lap, he will just back it off. But he's got a few laps here to still find his way past Cairoli, and I think he will try his best to try and pick up a qualifying race win here for Team France.
Yeah, still 2.5 minutes left to go in this race. Plus two laps, so we've still got a good 5-6 minutes left.
Cairoli just going a little bit high up there and getting a little bit untidy in that top left, and that hill is a lot steeper as well, isn't it? That horseshoe, that turn left.
Yeah, you can see Cairoli now that he's warmed up, maybe got some nerves out right now. And last time around, Cairoli had the fastest lap, 153.2, and Fevre was right there, just a couple of 100ths of a second off.
This corner here, very loose, very slippery, but lots of rocks will come out here.
There he is. Fevre made a little mistake, cost him. Let's see if we get this.
This is Cairoli, just running wide, watch. Just a little bobble, but like I say, that's pretty steep down there. Very, very steep on the to your left when you go through there.
Minute and a half plus 2 laps. This section right there, where you come down the wave section and then where the uphill starts, there is a massive G out because you're full throttle, a lot of speed right there, and right at the bottom. Watch next time we come through, we get a shot of it, how much the riders, the suspension, their arms, their body just collapses into the handlebars. That is a tough section, and earlier today in qualifying practice, we saw a lot of riders make some pretty big mistakes there.
Yeah, if you're wondering where Graham Irwin is for Ireland, he dislocated his shoulder this morning in practice. It might be straightforward, so hopefully we'll see him back maybe this afternoon. He might even get a ride tomorrow, but they're just making sure that everything in and around that socket area is okay. But he feels okay. That was first lap of the practice, or second lap of practice this morning. 2 or 3 laps in maybe, but Cairoli continues to lead. He's extended his lead 2.7 seconds over this fella for France. Roman Fevre number 1. Strybos is 3rd. Tommy Searle 4th. Glenn Coldenhoff for the Netherlands is 5th. The Spaniard of Spain, Boutron 6th. The Australian Waters 7th. The Japanese rider Narita 8th. Cody Cooper of New Zealand is 9th. Anton Gould of Sweden is 10th. Larson is 11th. Where is number 4 of Cooper Webb? Now to 23rd place. He fell when he caught the rear wheel of the fallen Kevin Benoit of Canada in this bottom corner here.
Well, that's part of this race that makes it so interesting. Is there's a lot of variables, the class structure, the race structure in general. Riders riding different machines than what maybe they normally do during their championships throughout the rest of the season. you know, you won this event before, and you've had races that didn't go so well, and sometimes Lady Luck, a thing like this with Cooper Webb, like that's, I mean, those are the type of mistakes and these unlucky situations that can really derail all of the effort that's been put in to get here in just the blink of an eye. So you have to limit those mistakes for sure.
Well, the 31 years young. Oh, Cairoli goes down at the bottom of the hill.
Looks like he's all right, but
Drops it away.
KTM flipped around.
Well, he's just gone from 3 laps. The 2-lap board goes out now, and he's just gone from feeling really, really great and confident and giving Italy a potential race win here to, well, he's got a big gap anyway, 20-odd seconds back is Strybos, but that was not a great crash as well, because the bike flipped around, and did he tweak a knee, yes or no? Landed pretty heavily. Got it coming up here.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can find out what happens here.
Yeah,
he comes down, a little bit wet right there, and just loses the front wheel a little bit, gets his weight to the inside. Wasn't really pressing the tires against the berm, just shaving a little bit out of inside rut.
Trying to get mud out of his goggles here as well, probably, and mud all down the top of the tear-offs. Picks himself up in second.
Well, and that's going to put him 10 seconds ahead of Kevin Strybos in third. And at the pace that Strybos was on, Cairoli has to, he's got to get back on the gas right now and get back up the pace. Or Strybos and Tommy Searle right there are going to close that 10-second gap up pretty quick.
So Cairoli then with that crash, just silencing the crowd here a little bit, because they were right behind him as he was leading. I'm sure they're behind him now, but they're just a little bit almost gobsmacked really with that. And it'd be interesting to see how he is in terms of, you know, if he did pick up any little niggles there, because it wasn't the cleanest fall, was it?
No, that's pretty high speed, and especially because you're coming down that hill and then it flattens off into that single jump right there. You know, that'd be like hitting a wall at that angle. But no problems for
Febvre.
Romain Febvre out of France takes the same line right there. It doesn't get as much lean angle as Cairoli had that time, but it's going to feel good. Reigning champions 2 years in a row.
And I wonder as well, almost off through the final right, just catching the edge of a rut there. I wonder if he looked up as well as he saw that whole thing happen just beneath him with Cairoli going down. Here's Febvre's almost.
Yeah, he gets a little bit wide. That's about a foot wider than probably what he wanted to be. And notice he gets out there in some of that sloppy stuff. He wanted to be just to our left, the rider's right. And he missed it a little bit.
You think when Febvre was stood up through there, that saved him there? Because if he was sat down, it might have... The behavior of the bike behaves different, doesn't it? The suspension, when you push through, if he'd have gone in, maybe he would have caught his leg or something like that. He was able to sort of... He was stood up and he only had to drop his leg and keep himself upright.
Yeah. Look how they double up to this hill right here, a couple of lines forming, and then you drop off. They're not really jumping that far down that steep hill there. Now that some of those braking bumps are starting to form, you can go long off of that drop off really easy. So they kind of tiptoe off it and then accelerate down into the corner.
Tony Cairoli, Team Italy then, just with a lap to go.
I'd say that even though he's second right now, yeah, it's going to be a little bit bummer. It would have been a big confidence booster to win this race, but to have a crash that was pretty violent like that, and then to still end up second, it's going to be an acceptable result, I'm sure.
Yeah, and 21 seconds down on Romain Febvre at the moment. That irrelevant, really, because Febvre knows as well he can just coast home here, but we saw how easy it is to make a mistake. Some of the circuit grippier than others, and you know, Tony's crash was just catching the edge of the rut, I think, and just, you know, losing the front there. Nice big whip there. Playtime for Romain Febvre as he steps downhill. Here's Cairoli in the opposite direction, but Romain Febvre just looks across to his team, and he'll pick up the qualifying race win here in MXGP class. Lights the candles, and that is a great confidence boost for Febvre and Team France. Just looking down, Cooper Webb kept himself going. He's in 20th position at the moment. He might make another place or two on the final lap, but here's Cairoli, and could have been so much different. It could have been so much noisier out there as well, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit frustrated with that. See him shaking his head. But like I said, still to recover from a pretty hard fall like that, stay in seconds, pretty good result.
So Roman Fevre, your winner then by 18 seconds over Antonio Cairoli. France picking up the first qualifying race win of the day here. And here he is, getting ready to speak to Lisa Leyland. Let's see what he has to say.
Roman Fevre, congratulations. You picked up the first qualifying heat race win of the day. You were right where you needed to be when Tony made his mistake.
Yeah, you know, I took a good start. Cairoli took the hot shot, and then I struggled a little bit to pass second. I made maybe 3 or 4 laps. I was third and then passed second, and then Cairoli was already far. But yeah, I catch him up quickly. I think in 2-3 laps I was behind him, and then with the lap rider was difficult to be close to him. So I dropped down a little bit, and then yeah, he made a mistake. He crashed. I don't know what happened, but yeah, took the lead and go slowly to win the moto. So it's good at the nation.
How was the pace of the race out there?
Yeah, the pace I think was quite high. With Cairoli, he tried to push beginning of the race, and then I pushed him like middle of the race. I think I did the best lap of the moto. So I think I pushed a bit to see where is the limit, and then yeah, it's good. Everything is good for tomorrow.
Best luck then. Thank you.
Roman Fevre saying that Cairoli, the tactic there was just to try and get away quick, but quite a high pace as well for a qualifying race, which was interesting, Jeff.
Well, the track was in pretty good shape right then, too. Not getting too rough yet, still a little bit wet in spots, like right there. Nice piece of riding by the former world motocross champion, riding there with number 1 on his plate. This is reigning champion of this event with Team France.
Just up to his teammates now to bring him through. Confirmation then of the result for the qualifying heat race for the MXGP